Picture this. You have a credit card with a $5,000 limit, and you spend $2,000 during the month. You wait for the bill, and you pay that exact balance in full on the due date. Zero interest, zero late fees. You did everything by the book. But your credit score still falls 20 points. Credit bureaus do not monitor your bank account in real time. They rely on the statement closing date, a specific marker on your calendar that occurs weeks before your actual payment is due. Your bank takes a single snapshot of your balance on that exact closing date. Whatever number is on your account at that very second gets locked in and transmitted straight to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. The system operates on a rigid delay. By waiting for the due date to clear your balance, you've allowed the bank to report a high usage number that stays on your credit record for the next 30 days. To see exactly why that snapshot holds so much weight, look at this pie chart breaking down the FICO scoring algorithm. The second largest category is amounts owed, which is almost entirely driven by your credit utilization. The algorithm has strict thresholds for that utilization. Keep it under 30% to stay in the safe zone. Push that number under 10% and you enter the tier where the highest credit scores actually live. Here is the system's primary vulnerability. Utilization has no memory. Excluding the newer FICO 10T model, the algorithm completely overwrites your history every month. Whatever high balance you carried last month is erased the second a new, lower snapshot is taken. You can recover from high credit usage almost instantly. Because the algorithm lacks long-term memory for this specific category, past balances can be neutralized by controlling the data reported on a single day. Looking at this array of overall credit capacity, it's easy to assume the algorithm only looks at your combined limits. You might have $50,000 in total available credit with barely any of it used, but the algorithm runs a separate analysis on every individual account. If you have a single card with a low limit that is maxed out, the system flags it as a warning sign and drops your score, regardless of how much room you have on your other cards. The algorithm searches for individual points of failure. A single neglected card acts as a systemic drag on your profile, even if your total debt-to-limit ratio looks healthy. The natural instinct is to pay every card down to exactly zero before the snapshot happens, but the scoring model needs to see how you manage debt. If every card shows a zero balance, the algorithm lacks the data it needs to score your behavior accurately. You have to provide proof of active use. This is done through the all zero except one method. You clear the balance on most of your cards, but leave a small amount on just one card for the snapshot. The target for that single card is exactly 1% of its individual limit. Reporting a 1% balance tells the system you are actively using credit while keeping your risk level as low as possible. Reporting a zero balance suggests you aren't using credit at all. Engineering a controlled 1% balance provides the data required to reach the highest scoring tiers. This strategy requires manual payments. Autopay is designed to prevent late fees by pulling funds on your due date, which happens long after the bank has already captured and reported your balance. Be careful not to engage in credit cycling, maxing out and paying off a card multiple times in 1 month. This behavior triggers security flags that can lead to your account being frozen or closed. If your regular spending frequently hits your limit, request a credit limit increase. Higher limits naturally lower your utilization percentage without alerting the bank's security systems. Achieving this timing requires manual intervention. Automated billing tools are programmed to follow the bank's internal schedule, rather than optimizing the data sent to the bureaus. Here is the step-by-step process. Suppose you have a $3,000 limit, a $1,500 balance, and your statement closes on the 20th of the month. First, find your statement closing date in your bank's app or past bills. Then set a manual reminder. You need at least a 3-day buffer to ensure the bank processes your payment before the snapshot occurs. On that reminder day, calculate your 1% target. For a $3,000 card, that's $30. You manually pay off the $1,470 difference. When the 20th arrives, the bank snapshots a perfect 1% utilization. Once the statement generates, you'll see that $30 balance on your bill. You pay that remaining amount by the actual due date to avoid interest and complete the cycle. Following this protocol allows you to choose exactly what the bureaus see. You are no longer waiting for the bank schedule to determine your score. You are deciding what your financial profile looks like before the camera clicks.
This strategy controls the timing of new data, but it won't remove existing errors, collections, or late payments.